President Trump seems fed up with the Epstein files buzz, but Republicans, Democrats, and even a celebrity who flew on the disgraced financier's private plane are continuing to push for transparency. Now, Trump made a scathing Truth Social post today, writing, "The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this bull bleep hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years."
And here's President Trump speaking on it yesterday.
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Speaker Johnson also weighed in on the matter, seeking to try to resolve the issue once and for all. Here he was on political commentator Benny Johnson's podcast.
I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know, Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job.
Congressman Ro Khanna tried to force a release on the Epstein files by adding an amendment to the unrelated bill the House is going to vote on. The House Rules Committee rejected the measure, 7-5, with only one Republican voting in favor. Khanna said after the fact, quote, "We won't stop until the files are released. This may have been our first attempt, but the public will not be gaslit. We will keep fighting for transparency."
And even actor Kevin Spacy, who's admitted in the past that he did fly on Epstein's private plane, is pushing for the files to be released. He posted on X yesterday, "Release the Epstein files, all of them, for those of us with nothing to fear. The truth can't come soon enough. Hate to make this about me, but the media already has."
Trump has no idea. He has no idea why anybody cares about this. Kevin Spacy jumping in this chat, unnecessary. He should have probably just bowed out of this one and just, take it.
Well, but Kevin Spacey faced his own.
No, I know.
Too. Although he did, those went to trial over and over again, and he won every single.
And that's what I'm saying. I probably would bow out of the conversation that has to do with Epstein or young people. If I was Kevin Spacey, just stay over there. Don't jump in there.
Young girls for Epstein, not for Spacey.
Well, the point, either way, if I was Kevin Spacey, I would just focus on something else. But for Trump to act confused, I watched that 40-minute or so press conference that he impromptu did outside yesterday, and I was so fascinated by all the questions about Epstein, but then his responses that were very much like, "I can't fathom why people are so interested in this. Why? It's so boring." Like, what? That is the biggest. I was so surprised that this is what they're going with. He knows why the people are so obsessed with this, and I think it's a smart move for Ro Khanna to try to push this through, because there is bipartisan understanding that this is interesting to constituents across the board, and even for the people like me who were not interested in this case a year and a half ago. I was like, all right.
Now you're interested in it because
now
it's
I'm interested in it because
Trump?
No, because it looks crazy. The fact that everyone just did this huge 180 and the whole positioning has changed, and they went from it just is like, wait, are they hiding something? Because I really am not a conspiracy theory and didn't believe that there was much more to see here. I thought that the man committed suicide. Now I'm learning that the video was Adobe Premiere edited. I understand what that means. Like, it should just be a raw file from a prison. Regular MP4 with no Adobe Premiere or editing.
Maybe like me, they just found it impossible to delete their Adobe account. It's so hard to unsubscribe from the service.
You can't defend this. I know you want to see them release this stuff, so don't even take a secondary position.
Hold on. I will say, in fairness to Trump, there is more, I don't agree with him, but there's more consistency in his standpoint vis-a-vis Epstein than has been appreciated. Trump himself had said in an interview a long time ago, I believe with Fox, that when they're asking, would you release this, would you release that, and on Epstein, he said, yeah, I'd release it. That one's not as important. I think, there might be names in there that who knows if it's fair to them or they were just in there and they're not involved, and, we can't, that would be unfair to people. But, yeah, I'm for releasing legitimate stuff. He had kind of like I guess we might do it. The real hypocrisy is on the people who voted for Trump, defended Trump, supported Trump, who promised to release everything,
pillars
who
in
made
his
this a
presidency
big
campaign and his
issue.
administration.
Yeah.
These are not the regular people. We're talking about Pam Bondi. We're talking
Yeah,
about
those are the
Kash
people-
Patel, who was like by his side. Like, these are people that
Fair enough.
this is your crew, right? Okay, so
And it's wrong to say, Trump saying they're only, Democrats and liberals care about this. Well, only Democrats and liberals care about it now because it's a way to make the Trump movement look hypocritical, so they're focused on it. Yeah, all of a sudden, so many Democrats are like, oh yeah, Epstein files. I didn't care about this until 5 seconds ago, but now it's like the NPC meme where your brain gets reprogrammed.
That's
the
me.
new thing.
I admitted it.
I guess that's you.
This is entertaining.
But
I would like to
It's
know.
not true that only Democrats and liberals care about this. This has been a huge issue for MAGA base, many independents, libertarians, social media involved people. Our show, Rising, has focused on this issue a lot, has had a lot of interviews with Epstein interested reporters and journalists and figures over the year. This got retweeted into my timeline this morning or last night that we interviewed, me and Ryan Grimm and Emily Jashinsky, when they were part of Rising. We did an interview with Alan Dershowitz, who was an attorney for Epstein, who was actually accused by Virginia Giuffre, where he talked about massages that he got while with Epstein, although from adult women, and it was kind of a newsworthy headline. But then, of course, Virginia Giuffre recanted the accusation against him. And now he's been on TV, Dershowitz, saying that, oh yeah, there's way more stuff in the Epstein files. I know all about it. I can't say because of attorney-client privilege, but there's more stuff. Like, if the guy who was the attorney for Epstein and who was himself accused says there's still more stuff, you can't just, write that off.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to talk about here. Also, the underlying message, I don't know that all these Democrats are really interested in Epstein, but I think that maybe the Democratic leaders are just interested in this because it's salacious and attached to Trump. But the Democratic people and voters are interested in this because they have been yearning, just like Republicans have, to break this bureaucracy up, to break up the status quo. It's why Cuomo didn't stand a leg against Mamdani, right? It's that same energy. I think that this is a real people at home saying, no, release the files. Maybe we weren't interested in this, but if the government is hiding something, if that's the route that we're going to take to say that this may be a bigger issue, then just make it clear and transparent so that we can understand. And I think this could be a bipartisan issue.
It's like a cringe boomer thing not to care about the Epstein files release. They're still focused on whatever JFK or something. Epstein is our JFK. I don't care. I don't want to hear any more about that whole thing, that whole situation. We've moved on. Our thing now is Epstein files.
I think both
the millennials, the Gen X, the Gen Z, we the young people want disclosure on this issue. This is our white whale. It's time to kill the thing. It's time to release it. And I don't want our boomer political establishment to say, oh, who even cares about this? No, we care. It's our time.
And Trump can break the chain of, tradition by doing something differently than we saw with JFK, right? There was a lot of ambiguity around it, no
and that's
answers.
why it persisted
he can do it right
for decades
now.
that we felt like we didn't have the whole story because of the lack of transparency and the secrecy and it being, a weird situation to have a president assassinated and then the person who assassinated him himself assassinated a few days later.
And it never goes away. So people are just going to keep making stories up and making up a reason why and where, when.
Well, next up, a new CPI report shows that inflation is again rising as President Trump is gearing up to impose more tariffs. What this could mean for your wallet, don't go anywhere.